Hi, my name's Talya Kingston. I'm WAM Theatre's Associate Artistic Director, and I'm joined here today by Deborah Zoe Laufer, who a prolific playwright and who wrote Be Here Now, the first play in our 2024 Fresh Takes play reading series. Welcome. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you. I'm happy to talk to you.
So Be Here Now is a quirky comedy. That's how we're describing it in our marketing materials. Set in upstate New York, not far from here, actually. I'm wondering if you can begin by telling WAM audiences a bit about the play and what inspired you to write it.
Yeah, I had been listening. I've been obsessed with podcasts, I think, before they were even everyone was making one. And I'd heard about this um, disorder called Geschwin syndrome, where part of the brain is affected by a tumor or some illness, and people have the reaction they have is they're hyperloquacious, which means they talk and talk and talk, and they write and write and write, and they become either hypersexualized or hyposexualized, and they're just full of joy, like they have like a religious experience almost from it. And I thought, well, I have to write about that. And so I went to write the character who's sort of the antithesis of those things, and see, what journey she could take. And I knew I wanted to write several plays in a fictionalized version of I'm from upstate New York. And so this is the start of that was the first of a trilogy, hopefully, of plays set in my hometown-ish.
Because I'm one of the characters in Be Here Now, I know shows up in Rooted, which is already
Yeah.
up and running. That's the second play in the trilogy.
Yes, the second play is it's just all of the towns of the plays are mentioned in Be Here Now, so that they
Uh-huh.
take place in South Cooperville, and then Millerville is the next town over, and that's where Rooted takes place. And Luann, who works the fulfillment center in Be Here Now, shows up. Should I tell you what Rooted is about, or should we just stick to Be Here Now with the time we have?
Well, you can tell us a little bit about Rooted, sure.
Yeah, Rooted is, heard a podcast about a plant scientist who was discovering that plants are conscious, that they remember, that they learn and remember. And so I was fascinated by that. And I wrote about a character, an older woman who lives in a treehouse. She doesn't really connect with people so much. She mostly connects with plants. And she's posting all her discoveries. She's obsessed with this plant scientist, and she's doing the experiments, and she's posting about it. And one day she wakes up and there's like 1,000 people gathered beneath her tree, and they've decided she's their new messiah. And if you when you meet Luann and Be Here Now, you will know that she's just primed for a cult. So she joins the cult. She's just happening through on her way for a corn muffin, and she stops to join the cult.
It's great. So people can get to know Luann in Be Here Now and then follow her journey through these plays.
Yeah.
It'd be great. So I love that this play, Be Here Now, is about the search for happiness. How do you think it speaks? This is a big question. How do you think it speaks to our time? Why do you think it's important for people to listen to these kind of stories right now?
Well, I think what both plays have in common is that they both are about how we often dismiss people, or there's a character in Be Here Now, Mike, who makes things out of found objects and things that people would ordinarily just throw away. He has a crow that was hurt by some kids that he as his best friend. And so I think in all the plays, it most of my plays are about the people we automatically assume we have nothing in common with and have no interest in, the people we would dismiss, who wind up really being central to our lives. And that when you know anybody's story, there's something of interest about them. So.
Yeah, sticking on that. So I love the characters in your plays. It's one of the things that drew me to your work. They always feel very rich, and I leave the theater feeling like I've got to know somebody in real life. So I'm really impressed by that, and I see that in Be Here Now for sure. So I'm wondering where you get your inspiration for characters. Are you like an avid people watcher? Where are your inspirations coming from?
No, I was an actor for many, many years before I started writing plays. And I didn't think I could write plays because I revered them so much. I mean, I started reading them. My mom always, she read the Scottish play to us when I was probably 4, and I knew all the witches. Yeah, I mean, I was sort of primed to be in the theater by my mother. But I'm, I write characters that I'd want to play,
Mm.
really. And when the first 10 years I was writing characters for myself to play. And my career as a playwright went beyond what my career as an actress had
Mm.
gone to. So nobody's really let me act in my plays, though I have directed about 7 of them.
Mm. Yes, I see that. And what of the characters in Be Here Now, would you be interested in playing one of them? Is there one that you're drawn to?
I would. Well,
Yeah,
Barry is very fun.
it's the
She
central
has
character. Yeah,
a fun ride that she takes. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, so can I ask what you're working on now, that people might be interested in?
Yeah, in 2 weeks I go into rehearsal in Philadelphia. I just directed Rooted. It closed on Sunday down at Theater Lab in Florida. And then at Interact, my new play, The Last Yiddish Speaker, is going to go into rehearsal. And it's a kind of dark play for me.
Mhm.
It's a what if play if the insurrection had been successful.
Mm.
And it's a father and daughter who are Jewish in upstate New York when the whole country has become white and Christian, and everyone else has been disappeared or fled, and they're hiding. And late one night, this ancient Yiddish speaking woman is deposited on their doorstep with a note on her that said, "It's your turn to hide her. Good luck." And so,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, there is humor to it. It sounds really bleak, but yeah, it was something I just was compelled to write. It wasn't necessarily something I wanted to write. And it's also about the death of a language. I'm very moved by languages and cultures being lost, and that's central to that play. And I'm also working on a musical
Oh.
called Be Here Now, where 7 of Shakespeare's young heroines who are having love trouble,
Hmm.
the witches throw them all into the same forests to save each other. So
That sounds like a lot of fun.
it is fun. That's fun. That's a comedy.
So, just as a final question, and given the theme of Be Here Now, can I ask? I'm sure you're asked this a lot in post-show discussions. What makes you happy? What do you think what's a good place for you to begin to be happy?
Well, I connect a lot with animals. I
Mm.
don't, I only, all I have is 3 frogs right now, but really I'm a storyteller and I'm obsessed with stories. I can't get enough of them. I listen all day or I'm writing. So I would say I sort of live for stories. And I think that's how I make sense of my life is by writing stories and watching and hearing stories.
So for those of you watching, tickets are on sale now for WAM's Fresh Takes play reading series of Be Here Now, which will be at the Foundry in West Stockbridge on Sunday, March 10th at 2 p.m. and at 7 p.m. You can go to wamtheatre.com to get those tickets. Deborah, thank you so much for spending this time with us and also for your beautiful play.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed talking with you. Have a good day.
Just gonna
Bye.
turn it off. Now I can't figure out how to turn it off.
I can't help you. I'm hopeless with it.
Oh,
Oh,
here, stop.